work, and I've been looking at some of those opportunities, and hopefully, some of that will come in to play. I've done well on my Instagram, so I think I have the skills. In school, we didn't just learn photography. We learned, about graphic design and all of that too. So I'm not a graphic designer by trade, but I do have some of those skills. So that's what I'm looking at right now, and just doing photography for me. Finding what I want my niche to be. I haven't found that yet. I go from one thing to the other, and I take some amazing photographs, but I want to find that unique thing that says, this is Barbie.
A Barbie brand.
Yes.
And not the dolls, kids.
And I'm still working that out.
Of course.
In my head. So, in my eye, in my camera.
It's all about composition. What do you think some of the misconceptions people have about photography?
We had a saying, there's a setting on a camera. It's a P. That's the dummy mode where, you put it on P, then it does everything for you. Mm-hmm. And we jokingly would say P is for professional because, not just anyone can pick up a camera and create art. Mm. But someone with no technical skills, if they have the eye and they have what it takes to create that picture, you make pictures, you don't take pictures. So, if they have that talent, someone who has no technical ability can create an awesome work of art. I guess the misconception is that anyone can pick up a camera and... Oh, there's a big misconception too. Just because you have a nice camera with a nice lens doesn't mean you're a nice photographer. I wish it could be that way, because then we'd have some amazing art out there. But it's not. Another misconception is you're going to make a whole lot of money right away when you start doing this. It takes a lot. It's not just being a good photographer, it's being able to market yourself and reach the audience that you're catering to. You found what you love, and now it's turning that into a way to make money. So,
I guess that segues into what advice would you give to up-and-coming photographers, and I guess on the same note, musicians?
Yeah. If your heart is in it, and I was always told, find what you love and figure out a way to make money at it. So if you love photography or you love music and you're talented, you have natural ability, and you've, honed that ability, don't give up. Life is full of failures, but it's what you do after the failure. You have an awesome job with photographing for Google and you get laid off. It's what you do after that. You don't give up. And just being able, it's a lot of hard work. A lot of people think, oh, I'll just go take pictures and people will hire me. And that's not how it works. You have to put yourself out there. You have to go for it. You can't wait for them to come to you. And if you're doing it primarily for art's sake, which most photographers and even musicians, they do what it takes to make the money, but then they have their personal work that they do. And that's what keeps you grounded and keeps you motivated and keeps you wanting to do it day to day and not give up. So my advice is, I guess, if that's what you love and that's what you want to do for a living, then just don't give up. Be willing to work hard. Be willing to work long hours. Be willing to go out and hustle because it's going to take that to get the clients.
Do you think we all have a little artist inside of us?
I think so. Art encompasses a lot of things. It can be a photograph, it can be music, a painting, the architecture of a building. Some of the Frank Lloyd Wright buildings, they're just beautiful. And even landscaping, and someone who does the lawn maintenance, setting up flower beds and different things, that's art. Writing. I mean, there are some amazing wordsmiths out there. So I think we all have one of those in us, at least. Some of us may have more than one. But it's finding that in you and awakening that in you. I was in my 40s when I fell in love with photography and my husband. So that had never been awakened in me before. And as a result of that awakening, I saw things differently. So I think there's art in all of us. It's just having the right trigger or the right person or the right moment to bring it out of you.
Well, thank you so much for coming by, Barbie, sharing your story. It's really good that people can hear this and say, oh, maybe I should pick up a camera, but I know I got to work at it. And if I feel like learning guitar or anything like that, I just got to commit to it and work with it. But
it's never too late.
It is never too late. See, that's very important news. As you see, I'm approaching my 50s, and I'm starting a podcast, kids. So anything's possible, and it just doesn't have to be one thing. Like photography has so much: architecture, weddings, fashion. There's
fine art.
It's incredible. Mm-hmm. And as always, I ask everyone this question. Are you ready? Why does art matter?
Well, art matters. It matters not only to the person who creates it, but to the person who's experiencing it. I may create something wanting you to see something a certain way with my photography, and there's an emotion attached to that. There's maybe a memory attached to that. There may be a story there that I'm trying to tell, with a single image. But the viewer may get something completely different from it. So art is always changing depending on your circumstances, depending on where you're at emotionally at the time. It can uplift you. It can sadden you. It can, I think back of some of the imagery I saw from like war photography. There's a strong emotional thing that comes from that, from viewing that image. The same thing with, a beautiful mountain landscape. It gives you this sense of serenity and peace, peaceful kind of feeling. So art matters because without it, we wouldn't be able to express ourselves. If you're an artist, you wouldn't be able to express yourself and hopefully influence others and give them, I want to say, a meaningful, I don't know. It's hard to put into words.
You're doing very good.
It's very hard to put into words. You wouldn't be able to try to let them see or hear what you see or hear. If it's music, I guess that's it. I don't know how else to answer that.
Good answer. That's why art matters. You heard it right here. Thank you once again, Barbie, for coming on.
Thank
to the
you for having me.
Anytime. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It was exciting to have my first in-house guest. Everybody else I've interviewed remotely. And this was the first person that was with me in the same room, face to face. And it's great to have my first musician and photographer all in one. Shows how very talented she is. And I appreciate the fact that she's someone who won't give up. And she encourages you not to give up. And it's so important to embrace your art because it's always changing depending on your circumstances, where you are emotionally or even geographically. It can have such a different impact. I know there's times that I think I was in a certain emotional state or whatever when I saw a movie and I didn't like it the first time. And I said, well, let me give it a try. And then the second time I saw it, I was in a different emotional state and liked it more. I don't know. It's strange how that can happen to you. I love how she puts it so succinctly about when you feel like giving up, that life is full of failures. It's what you do after that counts. You gotta dust yourself off, get back up, get back in there, pursue what you're going after, whether it is photography, music, any other art. If you feel it's your calling, if you feel you have something to offer to the world, you are so duty-bound to embrace those gifts and share them with the world. Just like Barbie, she put away her music for 20 years. That's a very long time. And then once she divorced her husband and closed that chapter, in her 40s, she found the guitar as a new creative outlet. And then once she married Chuck, she found photography. So you see, no matter what age, it's never too late to start finding that creative outlet, whether it is music, photography, painting, acting, drawing, making movies. The sky's the limit with the art. And there's so many ways to learn a new art and have fun with it and see where it goes. Maybe it could be a new career path. Just be open to it, just like Barbie. And just to let everybody know, we are on Spotify, Stitcher, and iTunes. Yes, it's great to be on all these platforms, so you can find this podcast everywhere. Just take a listen, subscribe, leave a review. We much appreciate that. And we're going to keep bringing you great content, great guests. That's my mission. And hopefully channel that little artist inside of you. And I'm so grateful for my little clan of creatives out there. So keep listening, and I will keep bringing you more guests. So until next we meet, as I like to say at the end of every show, no matter where you go, let your creativity flow.